Hey Cavs fans, welcome back to It's Cavalier. Today we are diving deep into a player who's been flying under the radar ever since he arrived in town. I mean, everybody prior to this season was forgetting about this guy, and that is Ty Jerome. After bouncing around the league, he's found his way to Cleveland, and I think he could be a sneaky good fit in our rotation. So let's break down what he brings to the table and why Coach Kenny Atkinson should seriously consider giving him a real shot in the lineup even after Max Strus returns from his injury. Now let's start with what Ty Jerome does best. He's a reliable floor general with an incredibly high basketball IQ. Jerome's playmaking and court vision have always been his standout skills, and that could be crucial for a Cavs team that's looking to add more stability off the bench. Just look at some of the dimes he dropped in his last mostly healthy season with the Golden State Warriors.
Curry, wheeling and dealing. Jerome to Looney, reverse is good and a foul.
Lamb denied. Jerome into the shot clock. And a nice pass on the dive, but is Kuminga going to get it? Yes, he does. Can't relax. Jerome. He wanted Looney on the pocket, and he's going to the line trying to tie things up.
He keeps the ball moving and finds teammates in perfect positions. Now let's break it down into three key strengths Ty Jerome brings to the Cavaliers. First up, his playmaking. Last season was essentially a lost year for Ty Jerome, but in the season prior, Ty averaged over 3 assists per game in just around 18 minutes of play. His passing isn't necessarily flashy, but we don't really need it to be because it's incredibly effective. With players like Darius, Garland, or Donovan Mitchell sharing the court alongside him at times, Jerome could take some of the playmaking load off their backs, keeping them fresh and giving the team a little bit more versatility in terms of ball handling at times. He's also a low turnover guy, holding a career average of just 0.8 turnovers per game and an assist percentage of 22% per Basketball Reference. Even when he's playing at a faster pace, which is sure to happen in a Kenny Atkinson based offense, he manages the game well and makes good decisions. That's huge for a bench unit that can sometimes struggle with consistency, especially at the guard positions. He could help provide balance there, in my opinion. Now let's talk about shooting. We all know how important floor spacing is in today's NBA, and Jerome actually had his best shooting season prior to being signed by the Cavs, hitting about 39% from three-point distance. And it's not just about hitting those shots, it's about when and where Jerome takes them. Ty's shot selection is smart, which keeps defenses honest and opens up space for slashing players like Okoro and Caris LeVert. He was effective when functioning as a catch-and-shoot outlet for drivers and when pulling up on defenses, drilling 39.3% of his catch and shoot opportunities and 40.7% of his pull-up attempts from range respectively. He completed 57.1% from the right corner, 50% from the left, and 35.3% from above the break that season. He is truly comfortable taking the perimeter shot from anywhere outside the three-point line, which is highly important. Imagine a second unit where Ty is out there knocking down catch and shoot threes and keeping defenses stretched. That kind of spacing is something that teams often have to pay a premium for, and it can be a game changer off the bench. It's what we've been calling for out of our backup guards for the past couple of seasons. Now on the defensive end, Jerome may not be the biggest or most athletic guard out there, but you can't teach the size that he does have. And at 6'5", he is easily one of the stretchier guards on the roster. He's scrappy and understands team defense. He's shown that he can hold his own by using good positioning and reading the offense well. He's a guy who won't necessarily get lost in rotations or give up on plays, which is essential when trying to build a winning team mentality and culture. His counting stats may never truly reflect how good of a defender he could potentially be, but as long as Jerome can hold his own, I think him and the team will manage quite well. So let's think about where Ty Jerome fits in with the Cavs bench as of now. The backup point guard position is still up for grabs, mind you, and he can bring stability to a lineup with scorers who need a facilitator. Jerome could allow the team's other reserves such as Caris LeVert, Okoro, Sam Merrill, and George Niang to focus more on scoring and defense rather than creating plays. Plus, with his shooting, he is a seamless fit in any lineup that does feature Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen, since he can help stretch the floor around them. Ty Jerome may not not be a household name, but he's got these skills and the mentality that could benefit the Cavs bench unit in a big way. He's got the passing, the shooting, and the basketball IQ that this team could use. And hey, sometimes the difference between a good and a great team is finding those unsung players who step up and provide that spark when you need it the most. We've already seen how impactful he can be in limited doses in the past, and we literally just saw it up close and personal in the team's first game throttling of the Toronto Raptors, in which Jerome totaled 14 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals while completing 85.7% of his shots, including both triples he attempted. His fit seems pretty obvious, but with Max Strus returning at some point, it may not be as clear cut as we believe it to be. After all, Jerome was the 10th man off the bench for Cleveland against Toronto. LeVert, Merrill, Okoro, and Niang all saw the court before he did, and it's kind of hard to argue against why they did, considering how interchangeable some of the players on the roster are. So what do you think, Cavs fans? Should Ty Jerome be in the rotation long term? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more Cavs content. We'll be tracking this all season long, so stay tuned.